Welcome, a bonus edition of It's Still Real to Me as we're coming at you here on a Monday afternoon. It's Still Real to Me, everything part of Zaslow Show 2.0. Of course, Zaslow Show 2.0 presented by Anidjar and Levine, Accident Attorneys, 800-747-FREE, 800-747-3733. And after coming at you this weekend where we talked a lot about Jade Cargill, we also gave you an AEW WrestleDream preview, which was last night. Now we're coming at you with a AEW WrestleDream reaction show. We're also going to give you a reaction to NXT No Mercy from Saturday night. So you get a bonus edition this week of It's Still Real to Me. And of course, we have a sponsor now on It's Still Real to Me, Matthew Maschler, Signature Real Estate. If you're looking for your dream home in the beautiful South Florida area, anywhere in South Florida, Matthew Maschler, he is your trusted real estate broker. He is a huge wrestling fan, also one of the promoters for BRCW, Boca Raton Championship Wrestling. They have a show coming up early in November, which we'll get more into as the date gets closer. But over a decade of experience, Matthew specializes in luxury homes and is a certified luxury home marketing specialist. Here's the best part. Matthew's not just about real estate. He's also about making a difference. So, hey, involved in charity work and all that good stuff. And if you're ready to take your real estate career to the next level, you could join the Signature team. That's right. Signature Real Estate Companies are South Florida's industry leaders, ranked number one in all of Boca, one of the top in all of Florida, and offices all throughout Florida. That includes Boca, Delray, Parkland, Lauderdale, Naples, Palm Beach, the entire South Florida area. The Signature team is where you want to be. So if you're buying your dream home, you're selling your property, or you're looking to join the best in the business, you contact Matthew H. Maschler, 561-208-3334. That's 561-208-3334, or go to realestatefinder.com. Joey Levine is our pal. How you doing this afternoon? Hello.
I'm ready. I'm pumped up. I'm ready to talk about this show. I've been ready all night, all morning. Let's do it.
Yeah, you're fired up over WrestleDream last night.
Absolutely.
I just finished up No Mercy this afternoon. I caught up on No Mercy yesterday. I did ESPN radio last night, and then I was able to get into WrestleDream, see what happens there. Caught up on No Mercy, which I watched a little bit on Sunday, and then watched the rest today, including the main event, Becky Lynch and Tiffany Stratton, which I finally got around to this afternoon. This was a really great weekend for pro wrestling, so that's why we wanted to make sure we pumped out a bonus episode here today. And of course, hey, Monday Night Football tonight. Maybe you're listening to this while Monday Night Football is going on, and we got to make sure everybody knows with football back, Bet Online is your number one information source for all your sports wagering info with all the up-to-minute stats, news, scores, matchup breakdowns. You get the latest game odds, the spreads, totals, all your NFL and college football action. It's right at your fingertips with BetOnline's real-time updates on stats, news, and odds from the start of the football season all the way through the college football playoff and Super Bowl. BetOnline gives you access to the best football promotions and contests available anywhere online. Head to the BetOnline website today or use your mobile device to get in on the action. Remember, use promo code BELIEVE, BLEAV, and you're going to receive a 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, where the game starts. So let's start with WrestleDream here, all right? That's the big story in the world of pro wrestling because, look, when we recorded on Saturday and I asked you, okay, Bryan Danielson, Zack Sabre Jr., that's clearly the main event. You said no, it's Darby Allin and Christian Cage, TV title, which by the way, this is clearly why they took the belt off Luchasaurus, right? So the main event is not just the setup for the debut, but also let's at least have the main event of WrestleDream be for a title. So that's clearly why they moved it off Luchasaurus onto Christian Cage. But the big story in the world of wrestling, I was confused. Why is that the main event? And then it makes all the sense in the world as we thought about it really just for a second. Yeah, that means we're getting Edge. That means we're getting Edge to make his debut. I didn't really think it was going to happen until you told me on Saturday that it's the main event, and then, he's debuting at WrestleDream.
Well, and I honestly, even in the show, so here's the thing, and I'll say this, AEW did a great job at the end, because let me tell you, I was taking notes during the show, and I was like, there's no way that this match main evented WrestleDream just for Nick Wayne to turn. Like, if this is the way this show ends, that's insane. Like, that's nuts.
Well, I think once everybody sees that this is the main event, Edge better be debuting, because that's what's on everyone's mind at that point.
And there's also multiple moments in the show. I'm watching two matches specifically, where I'm like, okay, the fact that this match is not the main event means Edge is coming, because when I watched Zack Sabre Jr., Bryan Danielson, blew my mind, like way exceeded expectations. Swerve Hangman, like watching that, I'm like, the fact that this is not main event, we forgot when we previewed Swerve's from Seattle. So he was actually the face in this match. That crowd was all cool. Swerve. It was very cool. But those two matches were back to back, and I'm like, these are two of the best matches they've done all year, maybe ever in the company. They should be main eventing. We're getting Edge. Like, it's got to happen. But even up until the moment, I had my doubts, because it's Edge, man. It's so it's shocking. It is shocking. And the fact that they got his music is pretty shocking too.
Well, he made note that he's friends with the guys in the band. So wherever he goes, the theme song goes.
Well, they still got to pay. Tony Khan said Tony Khan said that the friendship helped with the discount.
How about where you noticed when they played his music, and it's, instead of "you think you know me," it's "you think you know him"?
Yeah, and no, people were saying online they think that voice was Beth Phoenix.
Oh, maybe that is true, but the point that I'm trying to make is, how about WWE apparently owns "You Think You Know Me"?
Yeah.
So they changed to "You Think You Know Him," which I think is so interesting.
Yeah, and I don't know if you saw today, Edge trademarked a few different things, and one thing that he trademarked was legend, but spelled with edge in the middle of it. So instead of Legend, it's Ledgend.
And so Edge, Rated R Superstar, WWE doesn't own that name?
No, so apparently that trademark has been dead, has been not renewed since 2020.
That's surprising.
Yeah.
So that's cool that he's Rated R Superstar, but he's not Edge. He's Adam Copeland. And actually in the post, in the scrum afterwards, or the post presser thing, MJF said Edge, and Tony Khan was like, whoa. And MJF was like, Adam Copeland, whatever. He did his thing, but he referred to him as Edge, and Tony Khan stopped him. Can I tell you something that it drives me crazy? It's a stupid, funny thing. So Edge's music hit. They play the video. Video was cool. The music comes out.
I think Darby Allin helped him produce that. They said
the video was really cool, and especially when he drove over the street and you got the aerial view and it says Rated R.
Can I say though, the video was very cool. It felt out of place. Cool video. In that moment, I kind of just wanted the music to hit and him come out. Like the video was very cool, but I feel like in a different circumstance, it would have made more of an impact.
I agree. It's kind of like, what would have happened? Imagine if when he made his return back in 2020 at Royal Rumble, if when he came out at whatever number he was, if instead of just getting "You Think You Know Me," they started playing a video. The video was really cool, but the video
felt out of place. In the
video's not getting the massive pop. You get the massive pop the second the music hits. Exactly. And you got that at Royal Rumble. And you could have also got that. Look, you got it last night, but it could have been even bigger if the video didn't precede it. Now, the stupid funny thing, which always gets me. So Edge is coming down to the ring. Christian is about to give Sting a concerto and end his life. And Edge still goes through the whole pumping up the crowd, posing, waiting for the pyro. For the pyro. Mm-hmm. And it's like, Buddy is about to get his head caved in. Can you make your way to the ring a little bit quicker? That always gets me. He's still got to go through the whole intro.
Well, he knows his old buddy's so shocked that he's there that he's not going to go through with the concerto because he's frozen. He's frozen in shock. So I could go through my whole entrance because they're not going to do anything. They don't know what to do. They can't even believe it's me.
Christian's face was great during
Amazing.
the whole thing, staring at him. And Christian in the post press conference saying he was shocked to see him, but doesn't care.
Yeah. Christian is like, I'm glad they're going to do Edge and Christian.
He's the top heel in the company, it feels like, with
MJF
babyface.
Let me tell you something. He's a top heel in professional wrestling.
He's so good.
He's so good. By the way, I don't know if you saw this because I assume you didn't watch 0 Hour.
No.
But on 0 Hour, in the pre-show, they honored Antonio Inoki.
Right.
And like members of his family like went out and were like honoring him. And then they cut backstage and Christian's watching honoring the ceremony on the TV.
Yeah.
Backstage, they just cut to him. And it's like, okay, that's random. But you remember Antonio Inoki's dead. So then in the post media thing, Tony Khan goes, I noticed you were watching the Antonio Inoki, the ceremony. I noticed you were watching that backstage. And Christian Cage goes, yes, their grandfather is dead. And that was it. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
So speaking of, okay, it was very obvious that Edge was not going to give the concerto to Sting. It was all really well done. I like that Nick Wayne. I like that it meant something. You know, the bullshit with Nick Wayne over the last few weeks and Christian kind of staring at him. And so
you texted me at like 7 a.m. this morning or whenever it was, and you said, "So Christian is Nick Wayne's father now?" Yes.
Yeah, like that has to be the angle they go with. It has to. That's such good heat. If after all of this, where it's tributes for his father, and that's why he's wrestling. If now he proclaims Christian is his new father. That's amazing heat.
Well, again, in the post presser with Christian, Brian Alvarez says, when did you first, like, how much of Nick Wayne have you seen? Like, what impressed you about his wrestling? How much of his wrestling have you seen? And Christian said, I've never seen him wrestle. He's like, I've never sseen him wrestle. And that was it. And then they all kind of froze. And then Christian looks at Alvarez and he goes, are you a wrestler? Have you wrestled? And Alvarez is like, I did. I actually wrestled his dad once. Well, they went back and forth. And then Christian goes, what was your question again? He goes, I wanted to know if you've seen him wrestle. He goes, I've never seen him wrestle, but he's a good boy. And he was lost.
He has to be his father.
He said he's a good boy and he was lost, but now he's not. It's like, oh my God.
Well, it started out where he asked for a question, said Brian Alvarez, Wrestling Observer, and he goes, great. I love talking to Marks.
Yeah. Yeah. He crushed Alvarez. It was great. It was very funny.
Christian has to be Nick Wayne's new father. I mean, that's such a good angle. Yeah. That's what they're going to do.
Here's the only thing. If like with Nick Wayne being aligned with Christian, I would imagine that means that the Darby Allin stuff.
And by the way, it's great because I already told you I hate Nick Wayne for no reason anyway. So now I really have a reason to hate Nick Wayne.
Well, there's not a whole lot to him.
I don't care about him.
I'm just sort of indifferent on him. Other than now, it's great because he's with Christian.
Yeah, now it's good.
But just to tie it back to Edge, Nick Wayne being with Christian means that Darby Allin is still in the mix. I hope that this is not Edge aligning himself with Darby Allin and Sting. I hope Edge is just Edge. I don't need him to be in a group with Sting. I don't need him to be Darby Allin's buddy against Christian. If they want to do some tag matches, whatever, that's fine. But I want Edge to just be Edge on his own. Or Adam Copeland on his own. I don't like Darby Allin. Well documented on this show. I think his gimmick is boring, and I don't need to see him almost die all the time. I just don't need it. But obviously, this is not going away because now Nick Wayne's aligned with Christian, and Darby and Nick Wayne have the history. I just hope this doesn't mean that Edge is coming in to be Darby Allin's new buddy. Like, I just don't need it.
I don't think that's the case. I don't think that's the case. And he apparently is going to be around every week. He's going to be
fighting Luchasaurus on Wednesday.
Is that Wednesday? I thought they said he's fighting Luchasaurus on like Title Tuesday, whenever that is. What is that? What is Title Tuesday?
I guess there's an episode of Dynamite that's on a Tuesday for some reason. Maybe there's a...
Yeah, I don't think that's not this week. I think it's going to be in a couple weeks.
Okay. No. So maybe next week?
Yeah,
I know it's on a Dynamite. It's on a Dynamite.
Yeah, this week he's going to talk on Dynamite.
Okay.
And he's going to also be on Collision every week. So he's a Dynamite and Collision guy. And then whenever this Title Tuesday is, that's when he's fighting Luchasaurus. That'll be his first match.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
Yeah. Look, it's cool. And
October 11th.
Yeah. So next week.
Yep.
So, and there's a lot of tribalism when it comes to WWE fandom and AEW fandom, and it's stupid. Why can't we just like lots of wrestling? And hey, Edge is now over in AEW. Jade Cargill is now over in WWE, and just being able to change up the rosters with really big names is really cool. So I dig it that Edge showed up there. I do think there is a little bit lost big picture wise when Edge's career is actually over, because I do think being a straight up WWE guy, Undertaker, Shawn Michaels, Cena, Randy Orton, Rock. I know Undertaker started out in WCW, but he wasn't Undertaker. I think it means something. Edge would have been one of those guys. But look, I mean, clearly it doesn't mean as much to him. And that's really all that matters.
But you know what? Here's what I think. I think you could still, I don't think it will tarnish it in any, and here's why. Because I think, at least it feels this way to me. This run with him is going to just be a build for however many months to him and Christian having something like a big moment, like a big match.
So you think they're going to keep him away from him for a little bit?
Well, not away because he's fighting Luchasaurus.
But I mean, away from him as far as getting physical.
Like, I could see a scenario where the January pay-per-view is Revolution, right? Like, that's a big show for the company.
No, Revolution's in March.
What's in January? Or do they have a January?
Well,
whatever. I could see a scenario where they circle each other for a few months, and then at a big pay-per-view, it leads up to him and Christian, and then that's it for him in AEW. And then he could go back to WWE for a Mania.
He said he plans on being around for a while.
Yeah. Yeah, but he also has been saying that he's planning on retiring soon. So I don't know if that was just a WWE thing.
Pretty amazing that 3 years ago he was retired, or 3.5 at this, almost 4 years ago, he was retired. And now he had another pretty good run in WWE, and now is able to do this whole run in AEW. It's pretty amazing. Yeah.
And he overcame not so great. I mean, his version of Judgment Day wasn't great, but then he turned it around and had a good little run there at the end too. So, I think what was interesting is Tony Khan kept saying that that WrestleDream was the beginning of a new era. Edge is not really a new era. He's a new era for AEW, I guess.
I don't know.
But maybe he means because here's the thing. I still, we talked about this when the rumors first came out about him going to AEW, and you were pretty staunch in the idea that he's not going to AEW. He's a WWE guy.
Right. I didn't think so.
And I somewhat agreed, other than the fact that if Christian was not in AEW, I don't think this happens. I don't think there's any chance. There's no chance. To me, it always made sense, because if he really is winding down, he has an opportunity to have another run with his best friend who he grew up with. That's a cool thing for a guy like him, for Edge. And he retired early. He never got that final run with Christian. So it makes sense. But maybe what Tony Khan meant was this is the beginning of a new era where WWE guys are going to come to AEW, because the guys that have come over so far, they're not, Miro's a WWE guy, but whatever. Moxley, he was an indie guy, and Jericho's not really a WWE guy. He's just a wrestling guy.
Could it mean that Edge is essentially taking that CM Punk role, that Collision is going to kind of be his show?
It could be. Well, yeah, I guess that would make sense, because they needed, I guess they built that whole show around having CM Punk, right?
Because he's going to be on Collision every week.
Yeah. So maybe that's what it is. I mean, maybe he'll be the main guy on that show.
Maybe.
That being said, I don't know that he needs to be the main guy on that show, because everyone's on the show now. MJF's on the show. Kenny Omega's on. Everyone's on the show. So I don't think that has to be anyone's specific, has to be someone's show. But yeah, I guess if you can say tune in every Saturday night, because you're always going to get WWE Hall of Famer Edge. That's a pretty good gimmick.
Maybe that's what it is. Yeah.
Maybe that's what.
So you got something fun for me as far as Edge debuting last night.
So to me, I'm I'm still blown away. Edge, 25 years, 27 years, something like that in WWE. He's a WWE guy. I mean, I don't think he was an indie guy really. And nope. Indies didn't really exist back then, right? Or they did, but they weren't. Whatever. So I just keep thinking, who is there? who are the guys? Because we talked about this too with Edge. Like, where does he rank all time, particularly within WWE? So who are guys that we look at as like purely WWE guys that would be just as shocking, if not more shocking, that they actually showed up in AEW?
Okay.
So I have 9 guys.
Some are due more or less shocking than Edge last night.
Like, would you be more shocked to see this person show up in AEW?
All right, let's do it.
Okay, so the first 3. So there's 3 tiers. One is current wrestlers that are just, you think you hear their name, that these are WWE guys.
Yep.
Okay. So The Miz.
Yeah, I'd be more shocked if The Miz went to AEW.
Interesting, right?
Miz is so like Miz loves WWE.
I know. But so is Edge.
WWE.
Yeah. Okay.
I'd be more shocked with Miz. Yep.
Okay. Kofi.
No, less shocked.
Okay. Sheamus.
Less shocked.
Less shocked. Okay.
Yeah, more shocked with Edge.
More shocked with Edge. Yeah. Is it because of his status also, like Hall of Famer and WWE guy?
I think that's part of it, but also, I could see
Actually, I guess Sheamus is a Hall of Famer, right?
He will be.
He will be, I'm saying.
But he's not currently. Right. Edge is currently. I could see Sheamus maybe saying to himself, I'm kind of toiling around in the mid-card right now. Like, Edge is a main eventer, and he showed up in AEW. Sheamus is not a main eventer anymore, so less surprised if Sheamus.
Okay. These next 3 guys are, for all intents and purposes, like retired. Don't work, as far as I know, for the company in any respect. WWE, I mean. Mm-hmm. Goldberg.
Oh, less shocked if Goldberg went. Goldberg's just,
he's not a WWE guy, so
Goldberg's like, I don't even feel like Goldberg's a wrestling guy. Goldberg's a
Goldberg guy. He's a Goldberg.
Yeah, he's a business guy, and it's like wherever the business is, that's where Goldberg is. I'd be much less surprised if Goldberg went.
This one's random, but it popped into my head, and so I wanted to get your thought. JBL.
I would be surprised, but less than Edge.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kane.
At this point,
hey,
Governor Kane.
Yeah, Glenn Jacobs.
You know what? I would be less surprised because maybe there'd be a scenario where he's there. They're doing a show in Tennessee, and he's there as like an ambassador of his city.
I guess so. Especially because Big Show's there, Mark Henry's there.
Yeah, so I'll go less with with Mayor Kane. Did I say Governor? It's Mayor Kane.
Yeah.
I'd be less with Mayor Kane.
I think I know these last 3 where you're going to go, but Batista.
Okay, I would be less surprised. I'd be really surprised, but less because I have heard comments from Batista in the past just about, the business can be this way, it could be this way, it could be this way, and sometimes you got to do what's best for you and that kind of deal. So nothing like, no bad feelings or anything is not what I'm trying to say. I'd be really, really shocked, but less if Batista went than Edge.
Randy Orton.
More.
100. Just straight up more.
I feel like I could say beyond the shadow of a doubt, Randy Orton will never ever go to AEW under any circumstances. So yeah, I'd be the most floored.
That would be insane, right?
It'd be insane if Randy Orton were to go to WWE.
Would it be more insane than this guy? And this is the last wrestler I have, Brock Lesnar.
You know what? I would be more surprised because I think that's a guy that Vince would do whatever it takes to make sure Lesnar never, ever showed up in AEW.
Vince might not even be on the board of the company soon.
Maybe not. But
what if Vince was gone? If Vince was out of the company, would it shock you?
Well,
it would still shock me, but would it shock you?
There's also the fact that Brock Lesnar would cost AEW so much money to go over there. Right. That obviously the Khan family can afford it, but can AEW really afford it? So I'd be so shocked if Brock Lesnar went.
Now, to be clear,
more for Brock, more.
And now to be clear, there's guys that I left off of this because it's a no-brainer. Cena, Rock, Austin, Taker, even Hogan, who's still around.
Although, dude, Hogan was in TNA for a while. Why can't Hogan?
That's true. That's true. I guess if they would want him, they probably wouldn't want him.
No, I'd be more shocked with Hogan because he's like 100 years old.
I also left the Usos off the list, although I thought they were an interesting one because there's no way. Like it's just never.
No, they're finally in the main event picture in WWE.
Yeah. All right, here's the last one.
Yeah.
Heyman. Paul Heyman.
I'd be less shocked.
Less shocked to see Heyman in AEW at this point.
Than Edge.
Yeah.
Yeah, less shocked than Edge. Career. Yeah.
I don't know. I think I would be blown away to see Paul Heyman in AEW.
Yeah, it'd be really surprising, but I'd be less shocked than Edge.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, there's a million guys we could do this with. These were just people that popped in my head. X-Pac was one that jumped in. I don't know why that jumped in my head.
I'd be less shocked with Edge. With X-Pac. I'd be less shocked with X-Pac.
Yeah.
So give me a couple other things real quick. And I want to do some NXT No Mercy from Saturday night with you as well. Some other things that stood out on last night. So Jericho ate the pin against the Callis family, just like I thought. And it was Sammy Guevara who got the pin. So Jericho ate the pin. Definitely saw that coming.
Crowd hates Sammy. I don't know. They're really, but like X-Pac hate.
Yeah,
I don't think it's like they just don't like him because he's a heel.
Sammy's got X-Pac heat, which is great. That's what you need in Don Callis family. It's great.
Yeah, I guess so. But I don't know if it's going to work because they're trying to push him pretty hard, and that's a big spot for him to win in that match. But and also like continuing to bring Kota Ibushi for these one-offs, and then he's going to lose. Like I don't know. It just seems weird, but whatever. Young Bucks winning was strange.
Yeah, we had them as one of the two teams that would not win.
Now, Rey Fenix got hurt in the match. So, like legit hurt, it seems like, because he was gone after he got hurt. He tried to do a move, and then
karma. You got a little bit of karma.
It's felt like they might have changed the match after that happened. I don't know. But here's the thing with the Bucks now. They're the Ring of Honor Trios champions.
Which I totally forgot about.
So did I. And now they're the number one contenders for the tag titles, and Nick Jackson is the number one contender for the international title, where Rey Fenix is hurt. So maybe that's
going on.
Maybe Nick Jackson just gets it by default. Julia Hart's a freaking star. I thought they should have had her win. She's really good.
Statlander's like her kryptonite, man.
Yeah, but what I don't get. Can you explain Statlander to me? Because I don't get it.
Well, I can't necessarily explain Statlander to you, but
just in general, like, what's good? Why is she good?
They gave her Jade Cargill's streak. They love her, clearly. Yeah,
but what if, like, wouldn't you, like, if you, like, here's what Vince McMahon would do in this situation. You know what he would do? He would have her lose and say, you know what? That's how we felt about your streak, Jade Cargill. Go to that other company. This is how little we think about your streak. That the person who beat your streak is going to lose a week later.
I'm glad
this is how we feel about your streak.
I'm glad they didn't do that.
I'm actually not glad. I think Julia Hart's potential. I mean, she's so young. She's gonna be around for a long time. But I thought they had a shot there with some to have. Don Callis's heat. By the way, he might be even higher than Dom at this point. Like they were that crowd.
They hate his guts.
They hate his guts. My only other thing, and this isn't. I mean, this may not necessarily. I mean, we talked about Bryan Danielson. Mm-hmm. Swerve winning is awesome.
Yeah, I thought Page was going to win. I feel like it's such an AEW trope for Adam Page to win that match. I know. I'm glad it was Swerve.
And it was a great match. And Swerve is, I mean, that guy, and Prince Nana too. I mean, that guy is, the crowd loves that guy. I hope something huge happens for him. And I'm going to put this out there into the world before anybody else gets on board.
Okay.
The kangaroo kick has people's elbow potential.
They love it. Crowd loves it. Crowd loves everything that MJF does at this point.
Oh, that match, the whole match. Dude, did you see his post today? You got to go check out his post.
I didn't.
So when he came to the ring and cut a promo, and he said, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go up there and I'm going to body slam you. And he's like talking about the big guy. And then the whole match was was about him finally getting the body slam.
The simplest moves, double clothesline, body slam.
He posted a picture in black and white of himself.
That's awesome.
Today with the guy up in the body slam. And he said that night in Seattle, I'll never forget it, brother.
Oh, that's so good.
He's a body slamming that big man in front of 70,000 people. It's like this whole long post about how he'll never forget body slamming this random jabroni.
Hey, body slam that filthy giant. That's great.
The show is awesome. I mean, it was so good. It's so weird how AEW continues to not really build these cards at all. and then they end up
and they still deliver. It's true.
Yeah. It's because they have really good wrestlers. I mean, the matches, like I have a hard time sitting and watching 3 hours of Raw or even 2 hours of a show and watching every minute of every match.
Sure.
But when you're paying for a pay-per-view, you're going to watch the matches, and AEW's got great wrestlers. And they got good stuff.
So NXT No Mercy on Saturday night. It felt like a black and gold NXT show. Great crowd in the arena. I wonder how they determine, all right, we're going to do this, special in the Performance Center as opposed to this special is going to be in the arena. I don't know how they decide that, but
they have Becky Lynch.
It was a really fun show. Dominic Mysterio lost. I was stunned. And it's fun, man, with the crowd. They chant, whoop that trick. That's fun, man. And so Trick Williams wins the NXT North American title.
I've been high on that guy for a long time. I love Trick Williams. I think he's so good.
What do you think the thought process is there taking the belt off Dominic?
I think Judgment Day is breaking up.
Maybe that's it.
I think this is like the first straw. Before Rhea's got hurt or whatever's going on with her whole thing was everyone has to have gold. And now Dom doesn't have gold.
Maybe the other two guys get mad at him that he lost the gold. Rhea comes back. Why are you bullying around my Latino heat?
Or does Dom get mad? Because every win that everyone's had in Judgment Day, the rest of the Judgment Day shows up and helps. They didn't show up last night or on Saturday night. So maybe Dom gets mad. Or maybe Rhea comes back and gets mad that they didn't help. Maybe they go on and do their own thing.
Yeah.
And then it's JD, Finn, and Priest. I don't know, but and I think tonight on Raw, as we're recording this, they're doing Cody and Jay versus Finn and Priest.
I think we're also getting Nia Jax versus Shayna Baszler tonight.
Okay.
I hope we get something good out of that.
Yeah. But yeah, I think Judgment Day, it feels like they're teasing and setting up them sort of breaking up, which is interesting because it wasn't even like a month ago where the rumors were like, they want this group to be bigger than the Bloodline.
Yeah. So there were a couple other shockers that I want to get to real quick before I talk about the main event. Ilya Dragunov wins the NXT championship. He's awesome. All right. Awesome. But I was surprised that he won the title. He's awesome. I was really surprised with that. And also, Baron Corbin beats Braun Breaker.
Crowd loves Baron Corbin.
The crowd was cheering so hard for Baron Corbin. So let's think about this for a moment. And I want to talk about the main event, but Carmelo Hayes loses on pay-per-view. Braun Breaker loses on pay-per-view. Tiffany Stratton loses on pay-per-view. Are all three of them moving on up? Why are they all losing?
Well, that's I will say this with Carmelo and Dragunov, that's round 2, right?
Oh yeah, they got to have a rubber match. That's right. They have to have a rubber match.
I will say, but the announcers made it seem like it was over. But that is 1-1. So there is a possibility that they could do a third. That possibility is there. The Tiffany Stratton thing, it seems like they got to move her up. The Braun Breaker thing and Baron Corbin, that thing is just weird.
I didn't get that at all.
I don't understand.
The match was really cool, but
it was a great match. I mean, it's good, but people don't like Corbin now, do they? Or do they just hate? Do they just hate?
I mean, coming out on the motorcycle with the bandana, it was kind of a cool look. I don't know.
I've always been a Corbin fan. Like,
he's a good worker, but the crowd hates him.
Great gimmicks. I mean, bum ass Corbin. I mean, he's had great stuff, but the Braun Breaker thing has always been weird to me because it felt like he was going to move up months ago.
Oh, like 6 months ago.
He was teased
when he lost the title,
and they teased him to be in the Rumble. I mean, like people were thinking he might be in the Rumble. So, I would be. I don't know the Carmelo. I don't think Carmelo Hayes. I think if he goes up, I don't think he's ready for the main roster. Not by himself.
Well, I'll tell you who is ready. There is no reason for Tiffany Stratton to ever step foot in NXT ever again. She can main event Raw or SmackDown right now. Yeah. She is awesome.
But she's gonna have to learn one thing. She's moving up. You got to wear pants to a street fight.
Well, I'll tell you what.
You got to wear street.
There were some moments in that match where I was like, this is really skimpy what she's wearing.
Oh my God. It was pretty distracting.
Yeah.
It was pretty distracting. Her ass was just, it was basically her whole ass, the whole match.
Yeah.
But either way, I just thought it was funny. It's like it's a street fight, and she's wearing her regular ring gear. Like you got to wear.
She's always got to be Buff Barbie, man. She's always
Yeah.
got to look like a princess. You know, she got busted open legit above her eye the very beginning of the match, and was a trooper the entire match, not letting it affect her. I'm sure it looks nasty today, and she took a beating from Becky Lynch there on Saturday. But she, like I said, she can main event Raw or SmackDown right now. She is incredible. It is like she has to be done with NXT. You know, if Vince's vision for NXT was always, can you main event WrestleMania? She could main event WrestleMania. If you're going to do a women's main event at WrestleMania, she can absolutely main event WrestleMania. She's 1,000% ready. Like, enough's enough. I was blown away with her.
I would say if you were power ranking the three that you mentioned of who is ready to go up, it's her, then Braun Breaker, then Carmella Hayes. I don't think Carmella Hayes is ready. I think Braun Breaker is ready. Braun Breaker in the black tights is ready for the main roster. Braun Breaker in the neon colors, not ready.
I'd have to believe that Tiffany is moving up because Becky Lynch is moving on. She's fighting Tegan Nox tonight on Raw for the title. Like that was Tegan Nox is fighting the winner.
What if Tiffany Stratton shows up tonight and that's how she gets introduced to the main roster?
Great.
And maybe she gets a match with Becky for the title on the main roster. I don't know, something like, I don't know, whatever. But maybe that's how she's.
But I mean, she's just phenomenal. I mean, the moves are so smooth and obviously she's got the look that you kill for if you're looking for a star.
Yeah,
she's
the multiple backflips into the elbow through the barricade thing. That was nuts. Yeah, that was crazy.
Yep.
She's
she took a beating in that match from Becky.
Yeah,
she really did.
And on the Becky thing, they're clearly planning on Becky having this title for a long time, right? Like,
good. I hope so. I thought she looked great on Saturday night. I thought it's cool that she's able to do matches like that now. You know, if she's going to hang around NXT. So I was into it. NXT, I thought No Mercy, I thought was great. WrestleDream was obviously the biggest story in the world of pro wrestling. Yeah. And so Wednesday's probably going to get a nice number for Dynamite. People are going to be into it.
Yeah. I actually think coming out of No Mercy, I think Raw is going to do a big number tonight. Okay. I think Dom losing the title.
Monday Night Football, like it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt.
That's true.
For a while.
That's true. But I think Dom losing that title is going to impact people watching Raw live. I mean, people who watch Raw and follow Judgment Day are going to watch to see what happens now. I'm going to watch to see what happens now that he doesn't have the title. You know?
Me too. Great job, Joey. So hope everybody enjoyed a bonus episode today of It's Still Real to Me. Tell all your fans you'll talk to them next weekend.
We'll talk to you guys next weekend.
Obviously, all of our shows here brought to us by Bet Online. And of course, make sure if you're looking for a home or if you want to join a winning team, Matthew Maschler, realestatefinder.com. Make sure you like, you rate, you comment, you do all that fun stuff. We love wrestling. We'll talk to you next weekend. See ya.